And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Stego Monday number 2. Welcome back to our third series of the night. Welcome to the round 16. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have one of our own. We have one of the Cranky Ducklings, the American Terran player, the Red Terran. It is Dolan. Oh God. Chanchito, Pig. Hopefully everything is okay. That was a little bit frantic. That, you know what that looked like? That looked like a cat jumping on the keyboard or something. Okay. Jesus. But hopefully everything is okay. I was hearing, so we had a bit of a delay to the start of the game, and part of it I believe was some tech issues from the side of Pig. I think there were some either hotkey issues or something going on. But, okay, we're good. There we go. We have the American Terran player. It is Dolan. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Australian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg. Once again, going 15-15, it is Pig. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is time to get your gamba going because predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck. Again, I'm going to be favoring Dolan coming into this, but I'm also a little bit biased, as Dolan is opening up 2-Rax Reaper. Okay, 2-Rax Reaper out of Dolan, which means I do favor Pig early on, as Pig is going for a 15-15. If you were here for the last series, I was talking about this opener, about how safe it is. It gives you earlier queens, it gives you earlier lings. As looks like there are some tech issues happening from the side of Pig. But overall, when it comes to the openers, Pig should be okay here. Despite the Mass Reaper coming his way, Pig will have earlier queens and lings to help defend, to help fortify himself, and to drone up. Oh, here we go. But yeah, from here we can calm things down, and I guess we'll switch our scenes for a moment. Hopefully everything's okay, and hopefully everything gets resolved. I'm sure we're more than happy to restart the game if need be. I'm sure we are more than happy to restart the game, restart the lobby, and get back into things. We'll see. Dolan hype. The Dolans. They're bonding over PC issues. Oh, but looks like we're okay. There we go. Okay, we're back. But apparently Pig's PC is beeping or something. It's like turned into a bomb. It's like ay. Hopefully it doesn't explode in the middle of the series. Fingers crossed. But now we can settle in. We can settle in. It is going to be an initial 2-Rax. Oh, actually, my apologies. I made an assumption that it was going to be 2-Rax Reaper, but no, it is 2-Rax Marine. Dolan with his own twist to things here. Now, this can be risky. Okay, so we have seen Dolan go for this build. We have not just Dolan, Future. I believe Future has also gone for this build as well. So it is a variation of 2-Rax opener. There are some pros, there are some cons. Now, the plus side here, early Marines. A very early Marine, just a higher Marine count earlier on. This leads into a 2-1-1 as Dolan is hunting down that Overlord, leads into a 2-1-1 stim timing. So a very strong buyer push on the horizon. The downside for Dolan, as you can imagine, no SCV Scout. No SCV Scout, no Reaper Scout either. Does supply block Pig for a moment, but if Pig were to follow this up with a Roach Rush, with an all-in, Dolan would have no idea what's going on. And his add-ons would be exposed. So we have seen players like Dolan and Future have this build be very, very much so punished by aggression and by all-ins if Pig were to go for that. For the time being though, Pig is droning, and Pig has not thrown down any tech yet. He's going for his gas, as you can see. Dolan hunting down another Overlord. Oh, doesn't quite find one, barely doesn't. Pig does get away. Does escape. And PiG is still going to be droning up here. So it looks like Dolan will be able to get his build underway. Again, I was concerned that PiG would throw down an early Roach Warren and go for a Roach Rush. If that had occurred, Dolan would be in a lot of trouble. But he's getting away with it. And Dolan, this is not a 2-on-1. It's a 4x. Oh boy, it is going to be a 4x. Now, we have a later Roach Warren. It's still a Roach Warren for PiG, but this is more of a defensive Roach Warren. So it looks like PiG is droning. PiG going for the lair as well. He's teching, he's droning, he's stabilizing, he's getting up to 2-base saturation, going for a delayed third. Little does PiG know, this is an all-in. This is basically a 2-base all-in. Massive timing on the horizon here. Now, the way this works, this hits very hard with Stim. We're waiting for the upgrades, waiting for Stim to finish, waiting for Combat Shield to finish as well. This will not have any medevacs to support, so every Stim will count, every Stim will hurt, so we have to preserve those Stims. We cannot waste them. There's going to be like 2 Stims, maybe 3 at most, but really like 2 Stims available for Dolan. So he has to be very conservative, very decisive with when and how he Stims, as he's building up his mass Marine army, and he will soon be moving out across the map. That's a lot of Marines. Now, PiG will have a handful of Roaches, but not too many. Especially considering PiG, he was droning. He was droning up, he's now taking a third. And here comes the move out. And again, PiG has no idea. PiG has no Overlord to scout, he has no Ling in position. PiG doesn't know. He is amassing a handful of Roaches. 7 Roaches on the way, Dolan moving out. Stim is done, Combat Shield's finishing up in 10 seconds. And Dolan, he's hoping to try to catch the Queens and catch the Roaches. The army is spotted. There is a transfuse. Dolan, he sims. He does go for the dive. Gets 1 Roach. Got transfuse, gets 2. Gets a Queen. And there are enough Roaches. Looks like PiG, he should be able to hold on. Yeah, PiG, he will defend. Dolan forced to Stim away. And behind this, Dolan, he is trying to work towards the factory. He's throwing down his starport. He's now transitioning. But this needed to do more damage. This was not enough. Checking the unit source tab, he got 4 Roaches, a Queen, the Overlord, 2 Lings. This is okay damage, but he was hoping for even more. He was hoping to reset the Queen count, hoping to catch out more Roaches. Dolan was not fully aware. Remember, Dolan didn't scout early on. He didn't know it was a 15-15. He did not know that Roaches were amassing. Now, PiG is going for a counterattack, and against a purely Marine army, I mean, PiG, he has potential. He has potential here. He's got Roaches, he's got Ravagers on the way. PiG is going to be fine, and he can even try and deny some of these add-ons. He got Shell 1 second off. Tank does Siege. Dolan will defend. Up! Stimming in. Going for another dive. Bold move. He has Marauders this time, though. And with the help of these 2 Marauders, he will take the trade. He will clean up these Roaches. Avoids the Biles. Takes down every single Roach, every single Ravager. PiG overextends. I don't blame him for moving out, but once PiG saw the Marauders, you could see the reason why this went so heavily in favor of Dolan was literally these 2 Marauders. They did so much damage to the Roaches, they shut down the Ravagers as well. Once the Marauders were seen, PiG did have to respect this, and alas, that was a much better trade for the Terran. Much better trade for Dolan. Dolan now getting his 3rd CC on location. PiG backing off, now droning up. That was quite a committed move out of PiG, but he is working on the next step, working on 1-1 upgrades, saturating his 3rd base. Dolan now moving out, this time with medevacs and with tank support as well. Ooh, this move out is going to hit like a truck. He's got more Marauders. 3rd Marauder has hit the field. Roach is pushing in. But the Marauders, they hold their own. Tank sieging behind this. Dolan going for the slow push, leapfrogging forward. His tanks are gaining ground, more reinforcements on the way. PiG setting up for a surround. Ooh, my apologies, going for a counterattack. Bold move out of PiG. He has very little to defend back at home. Going for the 3rd, trying to catch reinforcements. Tanks have arrived. Dolan stepping forward, meanwhile Roaches, they get across the map. Dolan does wall up, oh my god, just in time. But the Roaches, they do bust in. Tank sieges up, boys are being pulled. Damage is being done. At the same time, Dolan bleeding out some Marines and Marauders across the map. But Dolan does defend. Did cost him a tank, but he will clean up this army. We'll clean this up. Meanwhile, across the map, the tanks are exposed. Dolan getting on top of the third base. Going back to mining. And their third hatchery looks like it's going to go down. The roaches, they pop out just in time. Oh no! Doesn't save the base. Boys are being pulled. And Dolan gets the hell out of here. It does pick up. Does back off. Oh my god. Has to calm things down. Tanking shots with the tanks. Oh my god. Nice juggling here out of Dolan. Losing one of the tanks. But very nice trades. Dolan, calm down, Papi. Calm down. Basically, he was using the tanks to kind of buffer for his marauders. It was wasting road shots. And with that, Pig is now on 2-base saturation, stuck on 2 bases. Double expanding. Pig, he gets one of the marauders, not bad. One marauder goes down, Dolan backing up. Building back up, still has the greater economy. Dolan up on SCVs plus mules. And Pig has some catching up to do. Behind this, going for the infestation pits. Ooh, still has not started up to. I mean, he can't really afford the upgrades because of the lack of third. So Pig trying to stabilize. Safety infestors on the way. I do really like this actually for Pig. Like, Dolan has been very aggressive this game. Very aggressive. It feels like Dolan's been trying to end the game multiple times here, like earlier on. So going for the infestors, I feel like there's a lot of value here in them. Because the chances are, yeah, Dolan is going to move out again. As going for a double drop on the right-hand side. Pig trying to get a read on what's going on, fanning out his changelings. Likewise, Dolan moving out. Spots the initial changeling. I believe that is the third and fourth infestor, so it's going to be 4 fungal growths. Double drop does slip in. Gets a roach. He wants the queen. Ooh, doesn't quite get it. Oh, does actually. Queen goes down. Medevacs to get the hell out of there. Main army pushing on the left-hand side. Ooh, and Pig is distracted. Fungal does connect though. Gets a medevac. Not bad. Full medevac goes down. The main army does engage. Pig so far is holding on. But will not defend the fourth. Fourth base is going to go down. Drop into the main. Again, distracting the queens. Forcing transfuse. Dolan, I don't think he can go for the third, though. He can trade, but he might be a little bit overly greedy here. Yeah, Fogel connects. Raises the army. Ooh, 2 tanks go down, and Dolan, he did overstay his welcome. Actually, I say that he keeps going. He doesn't stop. Lost 2 tanks, doesn't care. Drops into the main. Yeah, he has the high ground, going for the tech. Infestation is going to be going down. No more infestors. From here, Dolan does get out. 1 medevac falls. I believe there were units inside. And he's just rallying across the map. I mean, Dolan, he has momentum on his side, catching, transferring workers. Oh no! The drones! So many workers going down. Pig attempting a long distance mine. Fungals coming in. Nice Fungals. Pig, he will hold, but the drop comes back into the main, and Pig is being pulled apart. GG, well played. And Dolan takes game number 1. GG. Just hyper aggression out of Dolan, starting off with the 4-axe, following it up with the double tank push as well. Just very aggressive play here out of Dolan. I'm not used to seeing this, but yeah, it does take the first game. Pig, unfortunately, unable to keep up. I mean, initially, if you remember, Pig did have a nice defense against the 4-axe, bio push. Pig did have a very nice hold, but if you remember, what followed that hold was Pig counterattacking and being punished for it. If you remember, Pig, he lost like 10 roaches and 2 ravagers when he moved out across the map. That was when the two marauders for Dolan had arrived just in time, and he completely shut down the army. That was the moment where momentum swung back in favor of Dolan. Likewise, that was followed by, or preceded by, Dolan's move outs, where he was able to break and actually get a kill on the 3rd base. That was kind of the game-winning move for Dolan, where he was able to cripple the economy and maintain an economic lead over Pig. If you remember, that was the moment where PiG, he had taken a risk and he had gone for a massive roach counterattack at the natural instead. He had like snuck around the long way, he had gone into the mineral line, but he only got 2 SCVs. He only got 2 SCVs, he got 1 tank, it wasn't really worth all those roaches. It was a risky maneuver and did cost PiG the 3rd. But now we're getting into game number 2. Jumping into game 2, going to be loading into Site Delta. And we'll see if we can make a series out of this. I'm curious if Dolan's going to open up 2 racks again or go for something different. As we're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Site Delta, we have the American Terran player, the Red Terran representing the Cranky Ducklings, leading the series 1-0. It is Dolan. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Australian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing his own team, Pigman. It is PiG. Here we go. As this time PiG is going for a standard opener. Okay. I'm curious just because I don't actually get to cast or watch PiG much at all. Very rarely. I think I was able to cast PiG last week against Australia, true, in StegoMonday Cup. But so far, every game we've seen PiG go 15-15. For the first time tonight, we're seeing PiG go hatch first. Meanwhile, Dolan once again, 2 racks. Is going for a 2 racks opener. Last game I had assumed it was 2 racks Reaper, but we saw it was actually 2 racks Marine into a 4 racks timing, into a stim timing. We'll see if Dolan goes for the same or goes for something different. Here we go. Now, I am a little bit concerned for PiG. If Dolan goes to the same build, this time PiG will not have roaches. Because in the previous game, PiG had gone for an earlier roach warrant. He had roaches to defend, to survive, and to hold. This time it's not as kind of seamless, or it's not as natural of a follow-up here. With Hatch Gas Pull, it feels more like Ling Queen. But we'll see. As so far, same opener. 2 racks Marine, not 2 racks Reaper. But this time at PiG, he does actually go the long way around with the Overlord. Usually you would send the Overlord here towards the natural, but PiG, he does actually skirt around the edge of the map. There are some pros and there are some cons to this. On the one hand, PiG will save the Overlord. The Overlord will not be sniped by these Marines. You can see Dolan, he's looking for the Overlord, and he's going to have a hard time finding it. The downside is that PiG does not know the opener of Dolan. Otherwise, if the Overlord had gone across the map, he would be fully aware of what's going on. PiG is in the dark. So, the plus side, PiG doesn't get supply blocked. The downside, doesn't know what's happening. Not yet, at least. As Marines are amassing, and there is, yep, the 3rd racks in the main, and we should be seeing a 4th racks as well. So it is the same build. You can see Dolan's still looking for the Overlord. Trying to hunt it down. PiG going for his 3rd base on time. So Hatch Gas Pull into a 3rd, droning up. And thankfully, this Overlord Scout from PiG will get behind the natural and will confirm the build. For the most part. As Marines, they get across the map, they get eyes on the 3rd. And this does tell Dolan it wasn't a 15-15 this time. This does tell him it was a more standard build. So Dolan does get some critical information. Crucial information, I should say. Yeah, it is going for that overall sim timing. Dolan backing off. I do feel like he... Oh, never mind. He wants the Overlord. I was going to say, I think he could have stuck around. And the Overlord... Oh, it does fall. Oof. Yeah, PiG does get supply blocked. A brutal moment to be supply blocked as well. Dolan massing up more Marines. PiG moving out, going for a counterattack. The wall is currently up, though. But the Lings, they do spot the Marines. PiG is going to pull away. Ling speed finishing up. And the problem here is that PiG, he doesn't have the full picture. For all he knows, it's a 2-on-1, which is a later timing. We know it's a 4 racks. And if PiG is too greedy, if he drones up too much, if he delays Ling production, then it could all be over. I mentioned before that in game 1, because of PiG's early Roach Warren, it was very fortunate, and the Roaches very naturally popped out in time to defend against the 4 racks, even though PiG didn't know what was going on. It was a very solid hold out of PiG because he was already making Roaches to begin with. Here, he's not. He's running up to 45. Sim is finishing up. Dolan about to move out. Okay, Pig has begun link production. How many queens? 4 queens, soon to be 6. Getting up to 6 queens. Lings are fanning out. Pig will scout the move out, fortunately. And this should trigger Pig to make nothing but lings and to bring all his queens together. There we go. The queens, they are coming down, at least from the natural. Lings are amassing. And Pig, he can pull off this defense. It's going to come down to the engage. As Dolan is going to trade far better against these lings. You can see Pig getting ready for a surround. Dolan stimming in, going for the mineral line. It does want himself here behind the, or in between the gas guys or the hatchery. The hatchery is going to go down. Aye. And Dolan trading well. He's going to sacrifice all of his marines. She takes out all the lings. And he should snipe the hatchery towards the end. It's going to be close. No, he doesn't get it. The transfuse. Very clutch transfuse. Piggy saves the base. Not bad. Dolan was being greedy. He was intentionally not killing the hatchery to trade against the lings and to save the hatchery for the end. But alas, the transfuse was clutch. Pig will save it. And as the dust settles, who do we favor here? Now, on the one hand, Pig, he did save the base. True. On the other hand, it cost him 44 lings. Like, a lot of lings went down in that defense. And even though Dolan didn't get too many drone kills, even though it was only 4 workers, it was still economic damage in the sense that he forced out all these lings, which otherwise could have been drones. With the build itself, I mean. So Pig holds, but Dolan, he's getting ready for the next wave. He's not done this time, now with medevacs, now with tanks. Dolan is committed and he's moving out. This time with heal support, with medevac support. So he can stim more freely. And Dolan can always try to snipe this base later on. Like, the hatchery is still very low. Dolan rotating over towards the 4th. Ooh, I believe the medevacs were scouted. Yeah, they were spotted. Lings, they can respond. Dolan stimming in. He gets a queen. 1 queen goes down, going for the hatchery. Hatchery taking a lot of damage. Yeah, lings, they cannot engage. They're going to try to, but this time the base does fall. Yeah, this time Dolan doesn't take any chances. He could have tried to trade against lings and then get the base, but not this time. Oh, getting a queen in the main. Not quite. Queen does get away. Once again, efficient trades here out of Dolan. I mean, hey, he sniped the 4th. And it's not gonna take much to snipe the 3rd base either, to be honest. Like, Pig is very vulnerable. He's double expanding. Pig needs a 4th for larva. Trying to keep up with the drop play, but Dolan now moving out with quite an army, now with tank support. More medevacs, more marines. +1 attack is done. Ooh, and Piggy runs into the army. I mean, now he's aware. He's pulling back. He's going to try and defend with Mass Ling. Bailing speed is still on the way. And he's coming in with around tanks that they're late to siege. Not bad. And tanks are late to siege, and Pig, he will clean this up. Shuts down both tanks. Dolan still sees the low hatchery. He wants it. He's not going to get it, though. As again, Dolan did overextend. And Pig is holding. Piggy's holding on. Going for the medevacs. Boosting towards the natural. Queen's not quite in position. We have another double drop on the way. Ooh, and a medevac might fall here. Double drop does hit the southern base. Meanwhile, Pig going for a massive link counterattack. There are defenses back at home, but not at the 3rd base or at the natural instead. Ooh, medevacs are falling. Oh, that was a full medevac, actually. Yeah, full medevac goes down. Dolan getting greedy. He does snipe a hatchery. He defends back at home. But his marines are getting surrounded. And Pig, he can try to break through this. Yeah, reinforcements on the way. Piggy takes out one of the tanks. Going for the other. And Dolan is going to be losing some SCVs. Nice SCV drilling. We'll delay that, but the SCVs are still going down. And Dolan, he's in trouble. This time he's punished for his aggression. 19 SCVs going down, tank as well. Oh, and this is brutal. 19 SCV kills. His economy is crippled. Pig finally gets some breathing room. He lost an expansion, but he double expanded if you remember. He's on 6 drones, 3 base saturation, and Dolan is behind. He is behind again, punished for just being too aggressive, too active, bleeding off too much. And you can see Pig setting up more run-bys. He's got another Ling counterattack on the right, Ling run-by on the left. Because Dolan has been so active, like Pig, he knows that chances are there's not going to be much at home to defend. He does catch more Marines. Efficient trades for the Zerg. Liberator's moving out. This time a Baneling run by towards the left-hand side. If Dolan is late to respond, Pig, he can't get the mineral line. As Ling Bane rolls in and up. Late reaction. SCVs are going down. And 6 SCV kills. 7 SCVs. Dolan does pull away in time. The Liberators were shut down. Dolan moving out with some drops. Not too many Marines though. He wants the hatchery. It's too late. It's too late this time, Papi. The hatchery survives. Does get some queens though. Nice splits. Trading as efficiently as possible against some of those Banelings. Pig is holding. Behind this, going into Infestors, going into Corruptors, and Dolan has a lot of recovering to do. Like at this point, his economy is in the gutter. Pig does have a lot of momentum. Now, technically, Dolan still has a more efficient army, true. So that will help him somewhat, but I mean, overall, Pig, he should be able to be the first. He should be able to max out and snowball from there. Now, something that I'm a little bit concerned by is if Pig is overly defensive. We saw this previously in the previous series, where if Pig makes this many Infestors, he's going to be, again, waiting for the opponent to push into him. If that's the case, then Pig will be allowing Dolan to recover and to expand and take a 4th base. Pig is moving out. Likewise, Dolan taking his 4th towards the south. As Dolan pushes Pig, getting ready for his counterattack. There is a solid line of tanks, but where are the Marines? The tanks need support. Things they dive in. 1 tank goes down. So does the 2nd. Not quite the 3rd, but Banelings get into the mineral line. Nice splits out of Dolan. Does avoid damage, only 4 CV kills. Very nice defense. Dolan pulls away with his main army, and he holds. Dolan does hold. Dolan was down like, what, 40 army supply? But he does get a mineral line. He defends back at home, takes out a hatchery. Very nice counterattack here to Dolan. I mean, again, Dolan, he's still down 50 supply. But he's recovering. Oh, I say that. Corruptor's punishing the medevacs. 1 medivac goes down. Full medevac as well. Brutal losses. Yeah, losses Dolan cannot afford. Yeah, he has to unload. Planetary under fire. Infestors coming in. Yeah, Dolan losing too much. He was doing well sniping the hatchery, but he's going to lose the planetary. There's no saving it. Planetary goes down, and that is the win condition for Pig. Pig, he doesn't have to kill Dolan. All he has to do is deny the 4th. Deny the 4th over and over again. Just ensure that Dolan cannot recover. Dolan, his SCV count is insane. He's got 72 SCVs, but he's long distance mining. Like, he needs the expansion. So that was worth it for Pig, considering his bank. So even if Pig loses his army, if he denies the expansion, it's still better. Still better for the Zerg. As Pig is double expanding. Maxing out on Ling Bane. And again, all Pig has to do is just run wave after wave of Ling Bane into these bases and just trade well enough. Going in. Gets into the mineral line. Nice whole position micro. 5 SCVs. Oh, even friendly fire. Same time, Lings A plus into the natural as well. And again, this is all PiG has to do, just non-stop run-bys. Oh god, getting 12, 14 SCVs. And this is forcing most of the army into the main, and then PiG can set up a counterattack at the 4th. Can just keep this going. Meanwhile, from the side of Dolan, he just has to turtle. He just has to turtle and then max out, which is easier said than done as PiG is taking into Broodlords. And Dolan, there's no Ghost... Oh, there is a Ghost Academy. Never mind. I was like, there's no Ghost in sight. They're coming. Ghosts are on the way, but the Broodlords are already here. Thankfully, PiG does not stay on a low-tech army. Makes use of all the Broodlords. And there's no answer. GG gets called. PiG, he fights back. Takes game number 2, and we are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. Very impressive there. I do appreciate that PiG, he kind of figured out just like game number 1, Dolan was playing very similarly. What I'm referring to, Dolan was he was hyper aggressive in game 1, same in game 2. And because of that, Dolan actually wasn't leaving anything at home to defend. Time and time again, he would just move out with everything, very committed pushes. Because of that, he was vulnerable to all these run-bys. And PiG, he was able to get, if you remember, it was like 19 SCV kills at the 3rd. That was the game-winning move for PiG. When he hit the 3rd base, when he killed 19 SCVs, it was, you know, he took a massive lead from there. He didn't lose that lead. There were some good moments for Dolan afterwards, and he was trading well despite the disadvantage, but it was still just too far behind. Still just too far behind, as he had lost so many workers in the lead up to the mid, or in the mid game even. And I feel like Dolan needs to calm down a little bit. I'm not too fond of going 4-ax Marine 3 games in a row. Going for the 4-ax. To be fair, it was also kind of a rough start for Dolan, if you remember, when he didn't get the base. If you remember, when he did not snipe the 3rd, when he made the choice to trade with the Lings and trade with the drones, that was intentional by Dolan. He opting not to snipe the hatchery because he was being greedy and he thought he could get both, but he couldn't. So I feel like Dolan needs to temper himself a little bit here. Had a lot of success in game 1, but less so here in game 2. So I'm gonna be surprised if Dolan goes for the 4-ax again. Like, clearly, like, it's not an all-in. Like, clearly Dolan, he's got like steps to it, but if the first move out doesn't get a lot of damage done, or doesn't get enough damage done, then he falls behind, or then there's that much more pressure on Dolan to trade and to snipe bases. It's very committed. Yeah, it's a better way of putting it. Very committed style. So we'll see if Dolan goes something different here. We'll see. For now, we are waiting for our players to get ready, and we're loading into game number 3. Meanwhile, the bracket has been progressing. We'll be jumping into the brackets after this series. We'll be catching up on those updates. Ooh, as it looks like the bracket has been progressing quite quickly, actually. I mean, that was a long game. That was a long game, and here we go. We're getting into the ace match and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkion. And we have our American Terran player, the Red Terran representing the Cranky Ducklings. It is Dolan. Ah, the danger, Dolan. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have, oh, this time reverting back to the 15-15, we have the Australian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Pig Pan. It is PiG. Now, I like the idea. Okay, a couple of different things here. One, standard opener. So already, Dolan, he's calming down, he's respecting PiG. He's like, you know what? I can't just ape this guy. It worked in game 1, but clearly, you know, there's some more behind this player here, and Dolan, he's going to be calming things down, going for a standard opener. So already, PiG gaining Dolan's respect. I like it. I appreciate it. Dolan going for something different. PiG, it looks like he's opening up 15-15, and he's playing roaches again. And it feels like PiG, he's hard reading the same build. He's like, you know what, Dolan, you've gone 2-ax Marine 2 games already. He's assuming it's going to happen again. And if you remember in game 1, I spoke about how if PiG had gone for like a roach all-in instead of going for like a safety roach one, he could have just destroyed Dolan because Dolan wasn't scouting. That might be on the mind of PiG. We'll see. This could also just be really safe play. I mean, this opener is very safe, so we could just be going for safety roaches just to like survive the early game. It is a bit of a slower start for PiG, so we'll see the timing of the roach warren. That's what I'm most curious about. Meanwhile, Dolan's going to be able to scout as the Reaper is on the way, and the SCV does confirm. SCV does scout the timing of the hatchery, will confirm the lack of third, and if PiG were to throw down an early roach warren, Dolan should be able to scout that, as the Reaper is moving out. Lings are scouted. This confirms the timing of the spawning pool. Does confirm. So Dolan now knows it was a 15-15, or at least a pool first. He catches one Ling. He knows that the other is somewhere on the map. Dolan is looking, confirming there is no third. But it does, yeah, there we go. He does confirm once again, dipping into the main. And Dolan, it's going to be on him to scout for early gases, early baneliness, early roach warren. We can see that isn't the case for PiG. He's just making queens and droning. So it just looks like a safe build, not an aggressive one. So PiG just playing safe. Meanwhile, Dolan going 3cc. Third CC before starport. A standard macro build out of Dolan for the first time this series, playing standard. Which means he can go into Banshees from here. And off of the openers this time, I do favor Dolan's position. PiG going for the lair. This is the same build that we saw against, I almost said Medic Jr. The same build against Milo. So he's going lair first into a more delayed roach warren. So it is going to be a macro setup from PiG. Going for a delayed third. And there's the roach warren. There's the roach warren. There's would be third base. Oh! Ooh, does not get the tumor. Third is now going to be taken. And we're going to macro from here. That is not a Banshee. I assumed it was going to be 3cc Banshee. That is not. There's no tech lab. Why? Because it's a fusion core. Ay, ay, ay. Dolan, calm down. So, after what happened in game 2, this feels like mech. It feels like BC into mech. We'll see if that's the case. There's a tech lab on the racks, actually, so it could be BC into bio. Regardless, BCs are on the horizon, and I am concerned for PiG. He does have an Overseer on the way. He needs to scout. He does need to scout, does need to confirm. Now, the plus side, because of the fast lair, this is actually a really fast Overseer scout, and Dolan, he's not ready to deny this. PiG, he should see everything. He should see everything, and he should be able to respond with spores, with more queens. He should not die, or he should not take too much damage from the BC. As here comes that Overseer. He does confirm the 1-1-1, and he doesn't quite confirm the factories. Oh, sorry, the Raxes. The factory was pulled away. PiG, he doesn't go further in. Uh-oh. So I was about to like praise PiG here for the earlier Overseer for scouting everything. PiG did not see everything here. This could still be Banshee. PiG is getting spores. PiG only has a piece of the puzzle. Regardless, spores will help. Getting queens. And he's rotating around. Thankfully, he's rotating back in. Roaches are spotted. Dolan now aware, he has to pull back. And the fusion core is confirmed, and now PiG knows. Now PiG knows 100% what's going on. It is going to be BC into Bio. And this initial BC, again, shouldn't really get anything. It's going to be used as more of a supportive unit to hunt down overlords, to defend against the roach push. The roaches, yeah, they should get out of here. We'll see if PiG does commit in. I mean, I'm sure PiG is waiting for the teleport. If the BC teleports across the map, these roaches can counterattack. They can, and they will. And there's not much to defend back at home. There's only Hellions. Yeah, very well timed counterattack here out of PiG. Does shut down the Hellions. BC out of position. Boys are being pulled, and this could just be game. This is too much. Far too much damage. The BC was needed back at home. He's getting some counter damage, but yeah, more boys being pulled, more SCVs going down. Yeah, the roach counterattack was brutal. Drones, they come back too soon, though. Oh god. 11 drone kills. That should not have happened. Likewise, though, 21 SCVs. Yeah, far too much. Well, the repairs are keeping the tank alive. Dolan will defend, but that's 25 SCV kills. The economic advantage that Dolan should have otherwise had in this game is not there anymore. Likewise, did the BC go down? It did. BC did go down to the Queens. Did get 11 drones. That's the one downside here, is PiG was defending beautifully, but he did come back too soon, so he lost too many workers. But it's fine. It's perfectly fine. He can afford to lose some drones. As Roaches, they hit the third base once again. Getting 27, soon to be 28 SCVs. And I was gonna say bold. It was overconfident of Dolan after getting scouted to still teleport across the map with the BC. Being aware that there were roaches. Being aware that there were roaches on the map. So Dolan was overconfident, he was punished for it, and now PiG has a massive advantage. Now, we saw in the previous game, even with PiG having like a 50 supply lead, Dolan was still getting damage done, he was still trading well, still sniping bases, so Dolan can recover from here, but it's going to be very difficult. Dolan is relying on PiG making mistakes. Or he has to force PiG to make mistakes. Which have already happened this game, so Dolan has a chance to come back, but there is a lot of pressure on Dolan. So he's moving out, he's looking for overlords, looking for queens, looking for a fourth base, confirms there is no fourth on the right hand side, it's taken here towards the left. Dolan's still trying to piece together what's going on. And PiG can afford to be greedy. He's getting into his own infestation bit, Hive is already on the way, Corruptors are on the way as well. If PiG plays this out like the last game, like safety infestors into a greater spire, into broodlords, PiG should be fine. Like, he has a path to victory here. Creep is being denied, getting an overlord. Not bad, but here comes the Fuggles. The Fuggle does connect. But alas, Medivacs will get away. I say that. Oh, one of the Medivacs gets shut down. Yeah, the full Medivac will fall. And can PiG get the second Medivac? Looks like he can. Oh, not quite. Whew. That was a lot of Fungals, but sniping one full Medivac, I think that was still worth it. Still worth it here for PiG, considering that the infestors are just going to regather energy. And this is just a really secure way to shut down the drop play. Like, I was going to say, as we saw previously in the last game, Dolan, he can't pop off with his drops, but now there are Corruptors, now there are infestors, now there is a way for PiG to shut them down. Dolan moving out, PiG does confirm, he has Fungals ready. Ooh, a massive Fungal in the Marines. The chain Fungals and the Marines, they're gonna go down. Oh my god. And PiG, he can just keep pushing. Shuts down the bio, Dolan face checking the Zelnaga tower. Does have a tank line, and PiG doesn't really have any Ravagers, so he can't actually break the third. But again, he's just denying any kind of aggression from Dolan. And that's all PiG has to do. Like, PiG does not have to push in. Just defend. Just defend. Defend. And we're good. Throwing down Spine Crawlers. Hive is done. Ultra Caverns on the way. Dolan will catch some Overlords, so he's getting some value here. Does force PiG to respond. Dolan backs the hell off. And this is the moment that I'm concerned by. The Greater Spire. We saw last game that because PiG had rushed into Broodlords, I mean, that had straight up ended the game. And that's about to happen here. Where PiG, because of his build actually, he very quickly is able to embrace Broodlord Infestor. It's actually really interesting here, just because if you remember, like in his game against Milo, I was a little bit perplexed by how quickly he was getting his Spire and how quickly he was taking up into Hive Tech, but it is all for Broodlords. So that is kind of like the win condition for PiG, as PiG is maxed out, which is actually going to work against him. PiG has to free up supply for the Broodlords. Greater Spire about to finish. The Broodlords are soon to be on the way. And I really like this style against aggressive players. Like just the Roach Infestor and then rush into Broods. Like it's working quite well. But the Broodlords are not ready yet. Army diving in, catching up the Medivacs. Oof. Yeah, Medivacs are fungled. Once again, the chain fungles. Medivacs going down. Dolan overextending. The bio trades nicely, but the Medivac count was reset. That was so many Medivacs going down. 8 Medivacs falling. Ooh, Pig does not start Broodlords though. He's making more Lings. And without Broodlords Dolan, he can still threaten his opponent. You can see Pig going for a Roach counterattack. There's nothing in home to defend. Dolan's all in at this point. There is no forced CC. 3-3 is going to finish up in a couple of seconds. Roach counterattack will delay reinforcements. Will shut them down even. Ooh, and Dolan forced to turn back home. He has to pull the boys. SCVs are falling. And as these roaches get thrown away, Broodlords. That was all Pig was doing. He was just freeing up supply for Broodlords. And this is something that Dolan doesn't really have an answer for. And the Broodlords are arriving just in time. Scan does miss the Broods as well. And once it reveals, yeah, Dolan, he has no ghosts. Gonna try and sim forward, but there's plenty of Infestors behind this. I mean, the Broodlord Infestor is here. And Dolan, he has to fight. It's not gonna be a good trade here for Dolan. But he can't turn around. He's trying to. Has to back up, has to get out of here. Thors are on the way, Vikings are on the way. The problem here is that Dolan was all in. So he just doesn't really have the setup here to get into Ghosts. Oh, Fungal does connect. Massive connection. And Pig, he collapses on the army. Pings up all the tanks. And can keep pushing. Again, the army here is so Marauder heavy. They don't shoot up. They don't shoot up. And honestly, Pig can keep pushing. Pig is being very conservative. Being very careful here with his movement, and that's still fine because there's no fourth. There's no fourth expansion. You can see Pig has got a Borrowed Ling on the right, got a Roach on the left. Dolan picking up his main base to land as the fourth. And Pig is going to be supporting this army with Ultras. Even delaying the expansion. Ghost Academy now on the way. I mean, Dolan, he's now forced into a longer game. He didn't want a longer game, but I mean, he has to at this point. Investors coming in. They land a decent fungal. Fourth base not going to be taken. Pig rotating around with Lingbane. Oh, and he does hit the mineral line. The SCV is going to be going down. He's just pulling Dolan apart. Dolan, he's out of position. I mean, he doesn't have the supply to defend both locations at once. Even powering the Banelings. They do get scattered. Cheeky move out of Pig. And GG gets called. He gets torn apart, and Pig will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. A very unique style that I actually haven't seen before. Again, I almost never get to cast Pig. So yeah, really unique. Just this playstyle makes a lot of sense, especially against Dolan. I think it works really well against him. I don't know if Pig, I mean, he did it against Milo, so it could just be his go-to style. But what I'm referring to is this more defensive style of opening up Roach, going 15-15, opening up Roach, going for safety infestors, getting like 4 to 6 infestors early on, and the purpose, and at the same time as you get the infestation bit, you go for the Spire. You work towards Corruptors, and you try to rush into Broodlords. And it's just a really safe way to play because you're kind of playing very defensively, and if your opponent is being aggressive, then they're kind of playing into your own hands, and then you can rush into Broodlords and take it from there. GG. GG, well played. Does completely shut down the aggression of Dolan there, and yeah, congratulations here to PiG. To be fair, a lot of it did also come down to the BC harass, if you remember. Dolan got scattered really early on, sent the BC across the map, and the game was kind of decided by the 21 SCV kills. The Roaches, they counterattacked as soon as the BC moved out, and that was 21 SCV kills. So even talking about like the style of PiG or the build, even before all of that, like the Roach counterattack was brutal, and it was Dolan playing from behind from that moment, and it was a rough road to travel there. I don't blame Dolan for going for a 3-base all-in after losing all those SCVs. It makes sense. It makes sense to go for the all-in just because you're so far behind, but alas, PiG was more than prepared for that kind of thing. And GG. GG, well played. With that, PiG will advance on, and we will be following PiG into the next round. I mentioned before that there were a lot of updates. There's a lot to go over. There's a lot of matches to go over.